barriers here then? You have barriers for who? For who? For us? For the United States? No, you come down. You're complicit in destroying our city. You come down, you own.
I think that AOC, when she came out and other members of Congress and they had this press conference, what did you think about their comments?
They have destroyed our city, and New York, especially Queens, is woken up.
Let's pull away from this. You see the...
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about probably the most fascinating story of 2023, which is the border crisis. Not because, it's a good thing. It's obviously a terrible thing. Okay. However, red states, governors like Greg Abbott, have gotten smart about dealing with the border crisis because the Biden administration, the federal government, won't do anything about it. And he's decided to move the border to these liberal sanctuary cities, these places like Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., L.A., that claim they love illegals, right? They love illegals, okay? But it seems that they only loved illegals when they were in red states. Now that the illegals are in blue states, the residents there are losing their minds, right? Democrat Party voters, right? A lot of these people overwhelmingly voted Democrat. There's a lot of them that didn't vote Democrat too. Some of them voted for Trump, but I'm just saying for the most part in these liberal cities, statistically speaking, these people voted for the border crisis, okay? That's what they voted for. And the best way to red pill a Democrat is to give them what they want. Just give them what they want, right? And as a result of getting what they voted for, cities like Chicago, New York, there have been protests. People have lost their minds because they're seeing that illegal immigration is, it's a bad thing, right? That it is a net negative. It's not a net positive. It does bring down your cities. It brings down your neighborhoods. It brings in crime. You don't know who these people are. And also on top of that, ultimately they end up taking your jobs, right? These people are seeing the writing on the wall. They had to learn the hard way, okay? So again, protests have been breaking out in these cities. And today we're going to talk about New York City, a city in which Mayor Eric Adams, who embraced sanctuary city status, he, again, is one of these Democrats that are now boohoo, whining, and crying about illegals in his city. And he recently came out and declared that the illegals will end up destroying New York City. And the far left progressive woke revolutionaries has deemed Eric Adams the Black Trump, right? He's Black MAGA, okay? As a result of him actually speaking some truth on the border crisis and the effect that illegal immigrants have on these cities, okay? And again, that brings us to today, right? In New York City, there was a massive protest as an event was held at the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan. Now, the Roosevelt Hotel apparently is a relief center for migrants. This is where they go when they come into the city. And then from there, they're either housed there or they're placed somewhere else. They get provided resources on taxpayer dime. Yeah, this is kind of the central location for where illegals go in the city. And Democrats, including AOC and others, were holding an event there, and they had a press conference outside of the hotel to discuss this crisis. And let's just say it didn't go so well for AOC and some of these open border Democrats. Take a look.
Immigrants flowing into the city. Watch.
And that we are joining with the city and state administration, getting a solution to this issue. The first is that there is consensus here across geography and states on increased federal resources to cities and municipalities dealing with this issue. The second is to allow for work authorizations so that the folks in here can get to work and start supporting themselves as soon as possible. They are prevented from getting jobs, they are prevented from employment, and that is part of the strain on our public systems. The faster that folks can access the work that they're asking for legally, the better we can solve this problem. And the third is extension of temporary protected status for Venezuelans, who are the largest population that are arriving here. So with that, we thank you all, and ready to wrap up?
Well, the American dream will not be bullied into submission today. We will continue to fight for the American dream. We will not be bullied. We will not be pushed into a corner. We will fight for these common sense solutions. TPS for the Venezuelans. An extension. They already have TPS.
All right. We understand that Representative Jerry Nadler is there, Democrat. Can we hear him? Let's listen in.
Has been doing a great deal to assist these asylum seekers. But the federal government can and should do more. That is why I support additional funding for the sheltering services and program in the supplemental budget to give additional resources to New York and other cities welcoming migrants. Unfortunately, House Republicans seem set on defunding the Department of Homeland Security and shutting down our government. I also led a letter with Immigration Subcommittee Ranking Member Jayapal and over 100 of our colleagues to urge the administration to use all the tools available to them to provide stability to asylum seekers and undocumented immigrants in our communities. The administration has the flexibility to provide faster access to employment authorization documents and to protect families by redesignating Venezuela for temporary protected status. I was proud to join Ms. Espaillat's bipartisan letter regarding this common sense idea. The problems that led to Venezuela's previous designation in 2021 remain pervasive today. The solutions my colleagues and I are advocating for are squarely within the administration's purview and will benefit us all. Immigrants make America strong, and nowhere is that clearer than right here in New York. In a city that's always changing, the one constant is that people from around the world want to come here to build a better life for themselves, and we're all the better for that.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Allegedly, this is a $12 billion dollar problem for New York City, okay? Again, it just really blows my mind that these are the same people that told us illegals don't take up any social safety nets, right? They don't take up resources. You're just a racist, right? $12 billion, okay? You know what we can do with $12 billion, right? We can use part of that to send them back to, Venezuela, right? And send them back to wherever they came from, okay? But apparently, they're not just coming from Venezuela, okay? They're also coming from other places, like, for example, Pakistan, the Middle East, right? All over the globe. And they're not just being bused to some of these liberal cities by Greg Abbott in Texas. No. The Biden administration is essentially giving illegals a free ride to wherever liberal city they want to go to in this country, because the border is in fact not closed, okay? It is wide open, and the writing's on the wall. The illegals are pouring in from all over the world at the southern border because, again, it is wide open under the Biden administration. Take a look.
Take a look at this video out of San Diego yesterday afternoon. What you're looking at is 3 unmarked white Border Patrol buses. They pull up and they start releasing several hundred illegal immigrants to city streets and sidewalks in San Diego across from a transit terminal. People were on this bus from as far away as China and Pakistan. And keep in mind, these buses are not from Texas. They're not Greg Abbott's buses. These are the Biden administration's buses. This is Border Patrol mass releasing people. You can see handfuls of them are standing around not knowing where they are, what to do, where to go next. And there was a remarkable exchange between one migrant and a Border Patrol agent as he asked the agent, "Hey, am I okay to travel to Chicago?" And the agent says, "Yep, you're good to go." Take a listen.
You're free to go. You can call. You can do whatever you want. You're free to.
Okay, it's no problem if I go to Chicago.
Do whatever you want. You're free to.
And these mass releases also taking place in Border Patrol's Tucson, Arizona sector. We shot this video in Sierra Vista, Arizona yesterday afternoon. A Guatemalan family dropped off by Border Patrol in a Dollar Tree parking lot, just a random store parking lot. They didn't know where they were. They didn't know what to do. And the local sheriff out there says these mass street releases aren't fair to the community. They're not fair to the migrants. Take a listen.
People come from all over the country to smuggle here, endanger this community, the citizens, and we worked united to combat that. Then to find out yesterday that CBP is doing street releases, as they call them, safe. There's nothing safe about it.
Meanwhile, here in the state of Texas, Texas is trying to stand its own ground without the help of the federal government. The video you're looking at here in El Paso, as Texas National Guard soldiers continue to use razor wire and physical manpower to try to block large masses of migrants trying to enter the United States illegally. That group of migrants waiting in the Rio Grande, expecting to be led into the country, but the state of Texas blocking them. That again happening in El Paso. And back out here live, CBP sources tell Fox News that border number numbers for the month of August are going to be around 230,000 migrant encounters. That would be the highest number or the highest month for 2023 and would come at a time when the White House is claiming progress and, quote, stopping the flow here at our southern border. That is simply not the reality on the ground here. We'll send it back to you.
Appreciate your reporting from there. Bill Malugin in Mission, Texas for us. Thank you.
Yeah, so again, what you have here is a very disturbing image, okay? It is nothing but young men, okay? Young military-age men fleeing their country, coming to the United States from all over the world at the southern border. They're being let in and then bused to wherever city they want to go to by the Biden administration. That is what's happening in this country, guys. Okay, that is like, that's the reality. Okay, and to me, stories like this, again, it's a double-edged sword because it's terrible that this is happening. Okay, in the long run, this is going to cause so much damage and destruction in this country. And, hey, I hope a lot of it stays in these liberal cities, but it's still not a good thing. It's a terrible thing, right? So for as much as I do enjoy seeing the meltdowns from the left in regards to them getting what they voted for, it's not good for the country in the long term, okay? But with that being said, with all the outrage against the Biden administration when it comes to the border, the economy, Ukraine, whatever you want to name it, right? To me, if we don't see a red wave in 2024, I honestly, I'm just going to be speechless, right? I really am. I really don't understand how you have so many Democrats that apparently are upset. Okay, look at Biden's approval rating. Okay, it's in the tank. Kamala's approval rating is in the tank. The whole administration's approval rating is in the tank. Okay, these people in these liberal cities are upset, okay, with the border. Okay, you got blue state governors coming out here sounding like Trump. All this stuff happening. Inflation is creeping back up. The economy's not doing well. I don't understand how you have this mix of all these things happening and you don't have a red wave. You don't have Biden removed from office. You don't have the Republicans expand their lead in the House and take back the Senate. I don't see how in a sane country that doesn't happen, considering the absolute disaster that we've experienced in this country under Democrats and the Biden administration. I just don't get it. But, my gut feeling is going to tell me that despite all this stuff, there are going to be people out here who are brainwashed with vote blue no matter who, and they're going to go vote for Biden anyways, right? They're going to vote for Democrats anyways, and we're not going to see the red wave that we should see, okay? Given the state of this country, in a sane country, in an actual functioning democracy, you should see these people be removed from office, okay? I'm so serious, right? They should be voted out, considering how terrible they've been, right? At this point, Republicans should probably start to think about bringing impeachment proceedings against Alejandro Mayorkas, okay? I think that we need to start talking about getting him up out of there, right? As the head of the Department of Homeland Security, because clearly he's not doing his job, right? He's neglecting his duties. Because what else could it be at this point, right? What else could it be? This problem is so bad that my only conclusion is that, well, it must be on purpose. This is what they want, okay? They want this country to be invaded by illegal immigrants, maybe in the long term to have these people eventually become Democrat voters or to have their kids become Democrat voters, right? I don't understand what other reason could there be outside of that. Why would you want your country to be invaded by these people who we don't know who they are, right? Have no clue who they are. And, I'm going to be 100% honest here and be 100% fair. It's not just on the Biden administration. We have to demand that Republicans step up as well, too, especially if there is a red wave. If Republicans take back the White House, the Senate, they expand their lead in the House, we have to demand that not only does the wall get finished, but we put the military on the border and we seal the border, okay? Anything less than that is unacceptable, okay? Because Republicans do a whole lot of talking about aliens, right? They're one of the ringleaders of this UAP, drama going on in Congress, okay? So again, they know that there's an alien invasion happening. They're just not focused on it enough at the border, right? The real alien invasion. I'm just saying, we got to demand that Republicans step up as well, too. As much as I love seeing Democrats get exactly what they voted for, I don't love seeing this country get invaded by people we don't know who they are from all these different countries just pouring into this country. It's not going to be good for us in the long term. It's going to be terrible. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.